Please be advised that this video is for the sole purpose of entertainment. Any views are purely my own, are subjective and may not necessarily be true. I do, however, do extensive research for all of my videos. All photos have been found on the public domain. I am using them under the fair use and fair dealing guidelines. I urge everybody to do their own research. Well, hello, it's Murky Meg here. It's Wednesday the 19th of February and well, what a surprise we've all been given. Little bit of confusion, and I will try and iron out everybody's questions. Are they or are they not allowed to use royal in their branding? Well, it's not as cut and dry as we think. I have touched on this issue with regards to using certain words of any product in Britain because everybody that uses that has to technically have a royal warrant, and these are very elusive and can only be given by the Queen and the firm. So it's always a little bit tricky when people have said, will they be allowed to keep their royal handle within Sussex Royal? Technically, they could be granted it by the Queen, but it's not the Queen's decision as such. It's actually down to the law. Now, it all would have been well and good because they are now surrounded by yes men who are predominantly US based, and they don't have any aides coaching them and guiding them through the pitfalls of the monarchy and the laws that are in place. And there lies the problem, doesn't it? Rather than listen to advice from the people that actually have been in this institution for a very long time and know it inside and out, they surround themselves with PR people and people that basically will do what they want, or what Harry and Meghan want, because of the paycheck. They want to build this brand as big as they can because they know ultimately they will get a slice of the pie. However, these advisors that work within the firm know their stuff. They know the law. The PR firms or the gurus that they're dealing with don't. And this is where they've come unstuck. They've automatically assumed that Sussex Royal, because it was gifted to them by the Queen, will be allowed to move forward. But you can't because it has royal in the title. There was an amazing article, and I've shared this on Twitter, by Robert Hardman. Now, he works for the Daily Mail. And what he points out quite rightly is that sections 55 and 1047 of the Companies Act 2006 and Regulation 8 of the Limited Liability Partnership, Application of Companies Act 2006, Regulations 2009 prohibits companies, including overseas companies, from being registered under a name which includes any of the sensitive words specified in the company, limited liability partnership and business names. That basically mean these sensitive words specified in the 2014 regulation include royal, king, or queen. In layman terms, that basically means that you cannot use the sensitive words without royal approval within your company name. And I think that if the Queen allowed them to pursue using Sussex Royal, it would then undermine the whole system with regards to the law. There seems to be a lot of confusion at the moment, and the majority of royal reporters are running with the headline, as well as the tabloids, that they are now banned from using the word royal in their branding. Some skeptics are out there and says, no, it's not, it's set in stone. It could very well be allowed that they can roll out all of their branding, trademarks, their foundation, their website with the title royal still in it. I'm very dubious about this because the law is the law. The Queen cannot let this happen. And I think that whether or not they waive, they won't, I don't think it will happen. I think that they will not be allowed to push forward with using that royal in their title. It's unconstitutional, and it goes against everything that the monarchy stands for. You cannot trade off your name. That means royal, not just the HRHs. Royal is in their names too. So I think that is part of the plan. What I can't understand is Harry has been brought up in this institution all his life. He knows how things work and what you are and are not allowed to do. to even suggest that he was unaware that this might be a complication is idiotic, to be perfectly honest. He would have been well aware that royal would have been a contested word with regards to their branding with the senior officials within the firm. Did you actually know that the Queen is governed by several pieces of legislation, including the Trademarks Act of 1994 and even the Paris Convention for the Protection of Industry Property of 1883? Because, like it or not, the royal family is a brand and it needs to be protected. You can't monetize on behalf of the brand while not actually being under the umbrella and guidance of the firm. You can't go rogue, and effectively this is what the Sussexes wanted to do. It's surprising that they thought that they could do it, but they're always full of surprises, aren't they? What now happens with their Sussex Royal? Because lots of questions have now been raised. What about their monogram, their logo with that M? We know it's an M. I can't see a H. It's predominantly an M with a crown on top. It's all about Meghan, isn't it? Will they be allowed to keep that coronet? You know, they've spent a lot of money trademarking all of these so-called brands. Their website cost a pretty penny, and it's sussexroyal.com. And also, what about all of those so many copyright on their Instagram? Copyright at Sussex Royal. They have copyrighted even their pictures. They've copyrighted even speeches that are videos. That all needs to be changed. Now, we said from the very beginning, when all this started, when they started to trademark everything down from mugs to pajamas, literally, anything they could think of, they trademarked under Sussex Royal. That now needs to be completely changed. Now, a lot of her fans are saying they can cope without the royal. That very may well be true, and I suspect they will have some success with whatever branding they choose, but it won't be Sussex Royal. Now, they're also saying, well, they didn't want it anyway. They stepped away from Sussex Royal. They didn't need it. If that was the case, they wouldn't have trademarked Sussex Royal. They wouldn't have set up their website, Sussex Royal. They wouldn't have copyrighted Sussex Royal. It's all been gearing up because they expected to keep Sussex Royal. It's clearly they didn't even think that this could be taken away from them, but it can. There's been some speculation of whether or not it will happen, and Omid Scooby is backtracking, saying, well, it's not actually final, it's not actually final, it's not actually final. I think it is, Scooby. Read the rules of the law. You cannot trademark off the name royal. And if they are not working rules, they may still be royalty. Technically, they still have their HRHs. They're not allowed to trademark on them, they're not allowed to abuse them, and they're not allowed to monetize of them. That in itself goes against what the Sussex Royal means. If you cannot trade off your titles, you cannot use royal. Simples. I think this is an amazing show of strength from the Queen. You know, Harry is her grandson and she loves him, and Meghan dearly, I suspect. She made that big, bold statement when the exit after the Sandringham showdown came and went. It was a statement of unity, a statement of family, and it was a statement from a grandma, not a queen. That was very evident. Now what she's saying is that now the dust has settled, we've got to get down to business, and you're not entitled to use the word royal. It's not about her being bitter, and a lot of people are saying that the Queen is being bitter and manipulative to take away the royal in their Sussex Royal. It's not about that. It's purely down to the law and the legislation of the Trademarks Act. A lot of people are now asking what this means. Well, in layman's terms, it means that they have to go back to the drawing board and start the whole process again of trademarking. There in itself lies a problem because they have used quite a lot of money. Nobody knows whose monies they've used. I suspect it's from the duchy, but it could have also been used from that $3 million donation from Disney. Obviously, nobody's going to comment on that because that's just a whole big can of worms. They would have paid an awful amount of money to trademark these names and brands. They've done the website, which cost a pretty penny. They've got their Instagram. I don't know whether or not you can simply change the name of your Instagram. I don't think you can. So will they have to start again from scratch? Will all their followers join in, or will their bots have to be paid a second time to join? Now, the Queen did come under some scrutiny when this whole Brexit drama came to play, and I think this is absolutely the right decision and it needed to be made. I 100% support the Queen. I think that, if it's unlawful that they're going to be using this Sussex rule, I think that they can't. It just can't be done, can it? So now what happens with Sussex Royal? What happens to their Instagram? What happens to the trademarks? Will they have to completely start again? What will their name be? If they can't use Sussex Royal, what will they be? Which name will they choose to represent themselves if they can't have Sussex Royal? Now, I'm on Twitter. Come and find me, Murky__Meg. But one of my favourite all-time Twitter accounts did a hilarious Photoshop, and it is Kylie R. And it's just, bravo. You never fail to make me smile, and you're always on point. Go find her. She's hilarious. I'm going to end today's video with a groan moment. Now, I've taken off this person's name because, unlike some, I don't like to publicly humiliate people. But this itself, it was a what the fudge moment. Have a laugh at what the fans think. So that's what we're dealing with, folks. What do you think this all means? What will Harry and Meghan now be thinking if they can't use Royal in the Sussex title? Will they have to rebrand completely, or will they try and beg to use Royal? They can beg, but I don't think it will be granted. As always, let me know what you think. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notification bell, and also that like button. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of my followers for all the tips and all the emails, DMs that everybody sends to me. It really is greatly appreciated. So thank you very much for watching once again.